But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
What's going on, entertainment? So today I'm coming to y'all with another video. So today we're doing another Hollywood hot topic. So I talk about the most salacious news in Hollywood. Okay, first thing I wanted to get into, guys, was the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. I'm doing part 1 and part 2 recap on here. I was so annoyed. Like, I don't get how Drew could have stayed in that room. She's better than me, because I would have cussed all of them out and walked out. Because you got me messed up. I'm sorry. I don't like people being tortured forcefully. That bothers me. It's like you can't. She couldn't even get up and go. Like. Oh, Sheree and Marlo, you guys are trash. And that's why both you guys are not in relationships right now. And that's why both you guys are lonely at damn near 50 years old. And there's a reason why. Okay, because you guys excuse a man's behavior over and over and over and over again. That's why they get over on you. And Marlo, you've been a war, always gonna be a war. So, you know, that's why you're not in a relationship, because, you know, you're who has a credit card slot. Okay, so that's just that on those two. I just feel like them the whole time making it seem like, we know Drew's not 100% innocent, but Ralph isn't either. They were trying to make it seem like Ralph is just like, he did no wrong and that Drew's just crazy. No, that dude, you could tell, like, that man is toxic as heck. And when I tell you, we see him triggers me, because he's like the ultimate gaslighter. This is how his gaslighting techniques are. Let's say Drew says, oh, you've done this, right? And he knows he's done this. He's like, but doesn't that sound crazy? Isn't that insane? He does that on purpose to make her feel like, kind of question why he said those things, or try to make it seem like he never said those things. Meanwhile, he said those things. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I couldn't have did it if I was her. I just couldn't have did it. I would have went crazy. I would have went insane. Oh my God. Like, oh my God, I would have, oh my God. Props up to her, because it's like, God be with you. Okay? And then Tanya, why are you playing sides? You're supposed to be the Cynthia. Cynthia would have never, okay, got into other people's drama and argued on a behalf of another person. Cynthia always stayed neutral. That's what we liked about Cynthia. Cynthia never picked a whole lot of sides unless she had to pick a side. Yeah, I get what I'm saying? Unless it was like unless she picked a side because her hand was forced to. But besides that, other beefs that didn't really involve her, she stayed out of it. Sonia, you are not Marlo's bodyguard. Okay? I'm sorry. Y'all could argue, oh, Kenya does the same thing for Candy. Not that much. Not as much. Candy sometimes be fighting her own fight, and a whole lot for Candy. Kenya be really fighting her own fight. Because I've come to the conclusion that Candy is not a good friend. And y'all know I live for Candy, but I don't think she's as good of a friend as she tries to put out to be. I don't think she's that supportive. I think what she did to Drew was not nasty. For you to bring the cousin on board and sort of have her do that interview and do all that stuff, like, that was really disgusting to me. Like, Candy really needs some discipline for what she did to Drew, because that was low down and dirty. Like, to me, Drew calling you a liar wasn't the worst of the thing. You would have thought, in my opinion, if you could be friends with Portia, you could still be friends with Drew. I don't care what nobody says, because Portia put out and repeated rumors that she low-key probably knew that was false just because she was mad at you, to everybody in the world, instead that you were, okay, and was popping like Bill Cosby items and drinks and stuff. So let's not do that. I'm sorry. Like, you getting mad at Drew the way you are right now, that to me is crazy. Like, that lady just said that you lied about her. That's it. She ain't say you did nothing, you ain't put nothing in her drink. She ain't say that. She ain't say you tried to take her back to the dungeon and take advantage of her. She ain't say that. But you forgive Portia? That's very questionable to me. And it low-key makes you look real bad, Candy, because Drew helped you out with doing that movie. And y'all had one disagreement and you go crazy like the way that you did and going against her like that. I don't like that. I looked at you very differently for doing that, Candy. Okay? I think that Ralph is a piece of crap. When he came out there, you could tell he's over her. He's just sitting there like this. And I'm like, oh my God. Y'all not gonna stay together. It's just not gonna happen. He's checked out 100%. I think he's 100% checked out. Shout out to Kenya. Kenya was the only one that checked Ralph, and he had the nerve, which I thought was a little bit of a keto. He said, "How long were you married?" She was the only one that checked Ralph on his BS and basically told Ralph, like, "Hey, you know you're 100% wrong for what you did, and you know you're not right." The only one. You would have thought some of the other girls would at least try to tell him, like, hey, like, you did all these things, or like you basically sided with the enemy. Okay, you ride for the wrong team. You ride for the wrong, you were literally riding for your wife's ops, and you think that's cool. That to me is crazy. Like, that should be grounds for divorce already, because it's like y'all supposed to be a team. Anybody that's against your wife you should be against them, period. Like, that's how it goes. Did I miss the memo? Did it change when, you know, they signed divorce decrees now? Like, it's to the point where, like, you got be friends with your wife's ops and plot against your wife? Because I never heard of that. Like, imagine a nigga coming around and claims that that's Drew's cousin, and it's a big basketball tall ass nigga, okay, probably hung as a horse, coming around Drew saying, "Oh yeah, I'm your cousin. Yeah, remember I'm your cousin Tony. I'm your cousin Tony." And he all around her talking stuff about Ralph. Ralph would blow a gasket. Like, oh, I really want the roles to be reversed. And like, I would love to see how that would work out. Because I know Ralph with short ass would have had an issue with that. But you expect her to be cool with it? And y'all don't know this lady from a can of paint. Please don't bring back Courtney. She's very irritating. She whispers like she's on Big Brother. You are not on Big Brother. But you sound like Janet Jackson. Like, on God. Don't nobody want to hear that 24/7. Like, why are you whispering? We want to hear you on the mic. When she tried to close that door on Drew's sister's face, I really wish Drew's sister bopped her. Like, I don't, like, we're not supposed to be promoting violence because this ain't not that TV, this not Zeus. But like, I was like, this is the one time that I would have been okay if she got bopped inside her head, because she deserved it. How dare you? You not family. Nobody knows you like that. I don't care what nobody says. If you come out the woodworks and you just now being introduced to somebody's cousin, technically you are not my family, because I don't know you like that. You blood related to me, but you are not family, because I never taught you like that. So I don't know you from a can of paint. So you can't just claim, oh, we bet. No, I don't know you like that. I don't care if we blood related. I never taught you like that. So it's like, hello, you're a stranger to me. We just have the same bloodline. I don't get it. But I do think Courtney and Ralph were probably sleeping around. The whole connection that they have to me is very weird. You can tell that she's in his ear a lot. I think that whole text message package that was sent, which is very weird and very Pretty Little Liars, where he's sending packages and letters. What is this, Dateline? To people's houses and stuff. I do think Ralph sent that. I don't think any other person would have invest that much time to send to Sheree for fun and giggles and laugh. For what? They would have got nothing out of it. So I think it was Ralph that did it. You could tell when Drew confronted him about it, he like made like this face, like, damn, like she's starting to catch on with some of the stuff that I've been doing behind the scenes. Yeah, because it's so easy to read him. He's an easy read. Like, you could tell the man has insecurity problems. You could tell he's a huge gaslighter. You could tell he's a man whore. I think he sleeps around a lot. Okay, because when she said, "Oh, you getting DJs all around the world," he didn't even really deny it. He was just like, you know how silly that sounds? Like, he was trying to be funny about it. But I think anywhere he goes, he could easily get a slop on the knob and get a good old job. Everybody knows that. I could see that. So it's like, why are we sitting here acting as if some of the stuff Drew is saying is far-fetched? Like, that to me is crazy. Y'all like really making this girl seem like a basket case. Although I do think she's bi. I will say that. I think Drew is into girls, but she hasn't come to terms with it, which is okay because she's grown and she got kids. So she may not want to, explore that side of her life yet because she got them kids. But don't use that as an excuse that she's this horrible person and trash when he's been cheating all along. So the one time she steps out, oh my God, she's like the devil in disguise. Like, but it's okay. He does what he does. And Sheree and Marley over here justify him. Like, I was like, Sheree, You ain't gonna that. Remember when they went to that trip and they said that Sheree's never gonna get married or find a man? I think that's 100% true because I think she excuses any man that she's with, and that's why they get away with what they get away with. They probably cheat on you with Sheree. We were sitting there looking stupid, like a dummy. Okay, what Monique said on Precious, "You're a dummy, bitch." Like, oh God, like that to me was insane. If watching that really frustrated me because I hate watching somebody get gaslit and they literally cannot move. That bothers. It made me feel so uncomfortable. It made me mad. What I think tipped off like the Richter scale for me was when he said, "You're acting." He said he knew that was gonna make her mad. And the moment he said that, she walked off and had a breakdown because you were basically negating her feelings, basically say she has no reason to cry because she's acting. And Drew, reality TV isn't for her. If I was her, I wouldn't do next season. Find another storyline. If y'all bringing half of them back, let's see what storyline y'all gonna be talking about. Y'all gonna really have to talk about y'all lives because a lot of y'all this season, y'all kept piggybacking off of Drew. Sheree, you piggybacked off of Drew like a mother. Marlo, you piggyback off of Drew like a mother. Sonya piggyback off Drew like a mother. Sonya had her own storyline, no, I will say that. But Marlo and Sheree, both of y'all, you too, Candy, y'all piggybacking off of Drew, not opening up y'all lives, but y'all want to talk about her so bad. Let's see what happens when she's not there. Then what y'all gonna talk about? Y'all gonna have no other option but to really talk about what y'all got going on. How about that? So I hope she doesn't return next season. Just off the strength of her mental health and off of the strength, it's gonna screw the rest of the cast members over. They're gonna force their hand to do to open up themselves. Okay, that performance, it was giving. I'm not saying Drew can't sing because she can sing, and I think Drew's talented. But it was giving flatline. It's like a pain in my chest, but you're here because I'm elsewhere. You were the only one. You will never fall apart. It's like a pain in my chest. I just flatline. Y'all remember when Portia did that song? Y'all remember Portia did that song? She thought she was gonna go on beat. She was gonna go number one on One Assistant Park. Child, you couldn't tell Portia nothing. Okay, it was giving flatline tease. Why y'all had this lady perform in front of her husband, in front of all these people? I think that was super embarrassing. I think Bravo's trying their best to humiliate Drew and exploit the heck out of Drew, and it's really sick. This lady's going through a lot, and y'all having her performing in front of her husband. Meanwhile, the whole time she's performing, he's like this. He over here looking like a abused puppy dog, and y'all letting this lady perform in front of him. Andy, you ain't ish. You ain't gonna never be ish. Oh God, like for real. Also, I do think that they're trying to ice out Kenya because of the way, not Kenya, Candy, when they said that question, because they get a lot of questions, but the producers and people, they pick the question. When they said, "Oh, what do you think? Why, Candy, are you on the show if you're never open up your live? If you like, basically, they read Candy down, and I feel like they kind of low key picked that question on purpose because they're trying to get rid of Candy because y'all know her spinoff is coming back, and she's been on the show for a long time, and I feel like she doesn't have that much more to really show. So I feel like they're low key trying to get rid of her on purpose. And that question kind of showed me it a little bit too. Okay. I do think out of all the girls who should come back, even though I don't want Drew to come back just because it's everybody's storyline, out of performances and just, storyline wise, Drew, Kenya, and Marlo. I don't want Sheree to come back. I feel like Sheree to me is very boring. Like she's like watching paint dry. As much as Marlo gets on my nerves, at least she brings something to the show. She's entertaining in some way, whether it irritates the heck out of you or what. To me, Sheree brings nothing. Like, she's just boring. She's just there. Sonya, you've been needed to go, girl. Like, thank you for your services. Candy, I think her time has run up. So I will bring those three back. Apparently, they're only bringing back like a couple of them back. Plus, they're going to do like a full recast. That's what they're saying, allegedly. So I think that would be the best thing to do if it was them. The reunion was 2 parts because the season was trash. That shows us a lot, to be honest. Okay? All right. Next I want to get into, y'all, is Tink. So Tink, y'all, spoke about her relationship with Young Berg, a.k.a. Hitmaker. Okay, y'all know yesterday she went live for a little bit and talked about some of the stuff that she's been going through with Young Berg, but she did a fuller live and broke it down as to what she's going through.
Very long time. I've been silent about a lot of the things that I go through behind the scenes. I've been silent about our relationship. I've been silent about us. I've been silent about the deals, the money, literally almost everything you can imagine like should be. In this situation, it's a buildup of things. It's
Somebody said your album is coming, you're trying to gain exposure. I don't believe that. We've never seen Tink have any bad press. So I think that's pure cap in my eyes. I doubt she wants all of this out there and her business out there, negative business out there. It doesn't do her any favors, in my opinion, because now she's just another messy musician being stuck in a relationship drama type of situation. I don't think this is like purposefully done to promote an album. No, at all.
One, him asking me for money. Number one, him asking me for $2
I
million.
love Tink, by the way.
Number two, him being upset that I want to create from my own source. You know, a man that doesn't want to see you work on your own.
I can't wait for an album though. You know that gonna be fine. It started thought if you're already there, I just say like when the artist go through something, you know it's gonna be fine. Like, yeah.
Make money on your own, survive on your own. That's not love. You understand? So last night I was enraged. You feel me? I'm a very peaceful person, but I've been taking a lot. And the fact that I don't speak up is the reason why it seems, you know what I'm saying? So that's the least I wanted was respect. When somebody has placed $1 million in your pocket, the least I need is respect. And I wasn't respected last night. I texted him multiple times in that restaurant. I said, you look great tonight. Go up. I was never jealous of any woman with him. I know it's me.
And I have something I gotta read to Tink just because she doesn't remember.
You know, and I need people to know that the same, you know, to the women, the same that y'all going to war over, he eats my ass.
Ooh. Now he eats my W cakes from the rooter to the tutor, and he gets up in a cuda. Yeah, I love it for you. Listen, the girls that know now. I never seen a celebrity say that out willingly like that in a calm manner. I live. Wow.
From the rooter to the tutor, you know, it's very different. The least I wanted was respect. I'm very intelligent. You know what I mean? I'm a stand-up woman. And like I say, last night, I know that I made a mistake putting my hands on somebody. I said that in my live. I mentioned that. I'm woman enough to say that. I know what I did, but I want to just explain why I did it. I feel like I've been bending over backwards for a long time. For a long time. And when somebody bends over backwards for you, when somebody tries to help you or listens to you, takes your lead, you know what I'm saying, puts the ball in your court, the very least you can do is show respect. Because that's what I've done for the past 3 years. You get what I'm saying? For the past 3 years, I've shown nothing but respect, even when it's in turmoil. I'm very intelligent. You know what I mean? I'm a stand-up. I know I'm good. He did not put his hands on me. I said that in my live. I never went on live to make a narrative that he touched me. I know what I said on that live. You can watch it. I never mentioned that. It was physical on my end. I'm not perfect, and I ain't trying to be. I know what went on. But again, it's a accumulation. I know I'm good. He did not put his hands on me.
Okay, so this was, of course, in regards to the whole situation that happened yesterday. Okay, so now I'm going to read some of Tink's own lyrics from Ratchet Commandments, one of my favorite songs. Okay, these bees ain't really friends. She probably gonna take her man. I'm done with the phony hoes. These bees is really buzz. They'd rather be on the block than take care of their crib. I'd rather maybe make money than take care of some kids. Slip up on a heathen. Always keep it cool. Never let them know you need if thou shalt not. Let a nigga see you sweat. F up, get the chat, move along. You know the rest. Thou shalt not. Respond to these. They envy what you're doing. They only want attention. Thou shalt not. Pacify the truth. If you know your rent, dude, get out the club. Tink, You made this song and you didn't take a heed to your own advice. Okay, this is art imitating life. I do think her working with him did make the production of the music better. No shade, it really did. But I think her biggest mistake was mixing the business with the pleasure. Y'all know Young Berg's history. I feel like she gave him a benefit of the doubt, and that's where she faltered. I'm glad that she clarified that, you know, he did not hit her and that he did not put his hands on her, because that's what everybody assumed. That's what I assumed. So I'm glad she did clarify that, so we didn't think that, you know, he was back to his old antics and boo baka boo her upside her head. So thank you for being honest when it comes to that, because a lot of women, that's why I respect Tink. Okay, a lot of women would have ran with that narrative and allowed that to be something. Wait, hold on, y'all. I gotta go back real quick and show y'all something. So this was the performance, y'all, of Drew and Ralph.
It must have been what you said to me. Hey, yeah. Got me wondering, was we ever in?
She sound good, baby. Look at Ralph's face.
With my heart. And if that's not the case, then tell me, why would you throw it away? Hey, oh.
He could care less. I'm telling you, I would have performed and hit him with the mic. I would have hit him with a Cardi B. You know how Cardi B said, I would have did me one of those for dramatic effect. Don't play with me. I'm telling you. Drill. Okay, let me go back. Let's go back. On topic. No, that's why I respect Tink though, because I feel like some girls would have ran with that narrative. They would have made it seem as if he was the one that was putting the pause on her. So the fact that she clarified, it shows me, one, she really cares for him. And I'm not gonna lie, I know body language. She gonna go back to him. The way that she smirked the whole time during the video, and the way that she expressed how he eats her derriere and he eats those Debbie cakes up, okay, and licks the filling. I think she's going to get back in a dip set. But I think what she's going to do is just pursue a personal type of relationship versus a business type of relationship in order to stay, you know, around him. I could tell just by the way she's talking. Like, she still has that smirk of, I like him still, or I love him still. Y'all see what I'm talking about? That little smirk, that little smile. I don't think it's going to be the end of them, to be honest. They are each other's size. So I see why they went for each other, because both of them are very petite. Okay, Hazel E., I don't know what you thought you was going to be doing with that man. Okay, because you could put him in your pocket, Hazel. Okay? So, yeah. All wishes go out to Tink, though. I do love her music. I think Tink is so underrated just as an artist overall. I feel like she's one of the artists that I think should have blew versus some other artists that have blew recently, because she actually has the talent to back it up. What artist do you know that can actually rap and sing beautifully? And she can actually sing her ass off. She actually rap her ass off. So you can't find that a lot. And, you know, some newer artists have surpassed her, but that's due to a whole lot of factors. She is of a darker hue. So I think that has to do with it as well, because had the girl been a little bit lighter and had a little curl to her kink, I think she would have blew quick. Okay. Next I want to get into is Blueface and Rock. Oh, I'm so sick of talking about them. Y'all know how y'all see lately how I've been postponing talking about them, because they're so draining to me. Like, so Blueface is really mad that Rock is around and going on and about with the baby, and feels like Rock is being the big baby with the actual baby. He said, don't worry about it. Me and Jaden finna get this room ready. My child not finna be neglected on side. This was yesterday. My baby not finna be treated like no dog. Me and Jaden got plenty of time to watch him. We be at home with the kids all day. I know y'all not be doing nothing but filming videos. Pursuing music. my baby not gonna be treated like no dog. Long as that baby got my blood running through his veins, I'm gonna be on her ASS. B ain't even took the hospital ban off already. Left the baby with somebody else for a JUCO football game. Shaking my head. What could be more important? Shaking my head. You doing too much, big. I'm talking about my son. F everybody. My son come first. I don't care about that B. She took on this responsibility when I told her I'm not giving up on my son for Chrisean fans. Okay? All I'm gonna say is he's right. I think Chrisean needs to sit down. She's doing a little bit too much moving around just for being like a new mother. And the reason is I feel like she should be focused on just building a bond with the baby instead of being out and about showing face. I know it's not like she's out in a club somewhere, but if I was her, I think the best thing to do for Chrisean, and this is why I question the team around Chrisean. I always question the team around her because I feel like her team isn't hard enough on her. I would have disconnected her from the internet for like a good some months. I think the best thing Chrisean should have done is go down the influencer route, meaning promoted posts, baby posts, Fashion Nova baby. Okay, I would have got me a sickening deal from Bye Bye Baby. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, you need to go down the mother I would go down for the single mother influencer route, doing it on your own. Like, I just don't get her team at all. Like, her PR team, the family, the friends, because I would have been like, no, you're not gonna do that. Because she would have been able to get a bag and be comfortable doing it. She wouldn't have to sing and survive for a long period of time. Okay, should have been saying "Rockabye Baby." That baby don't need blue. You think you're gonna take my baby? You need to watch your teeth. You won't be able to do nothing. Okay, like, her PR team sucks, in my opinion. Those pictures wouldn't have been able to get publicized. Even if she was out and about, none of those would have been able to get posted because you're putting out in the media that you're just around just so many people, one, with the baby being so freshly born, and then two, you're making it seem as if you're not tending to your motherly duties, which that's how it looks like to the internet, but we don't know what's actually going on in real life. And y'all, it sucks to be on Blueface's side with this, but I do agree with him when he tells her to kind of like sit down. Okay. The way he's going about it though, on all the socials and stuff, I don't think it's helping anything because she's just going to continue. So the thing was with RHOA, this is how she is. I look, you kind of figure out. If you tell her not to do something, she's gonna do it even more. If you tell her, hey, you should do this, she'll do the opposite. So you should really tell her to do the opposite, and then that way, you feel me? That way she'll do what you want her to do. Because that's how she rolls. Recently, the baby was christened, so congratulations to that. You know, I was there at the christening too. I bought, devil eggs, you feel me? Because, you know, it's gonna be a devilish baby. Okay. The christening was nice. Her family and godparents were all there to support. Of course, Jay and Marsh was there in totes. Okay. I think it was just beautiful. And it was nice. It seems like she does have a huge family backing to support her. This is giving me Michael Jackson funeral, no shade. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when they all went on the stage and Blanket and them was crying. That's what it looks like. The stage, not just the picture, but just the stage and stuff in general. So that was nice to kind of see. Speaking of Blueface even more, they called CPS on his home. Now, this I agree with too. Some of the stuff that he does around his own baby is very questionable to me at all. Like, very much around Javon. I think it's like sick. You bringing all these women around Javon. I'm not talking about like women that he's dating. I'm talking about like women just in the house in general. Those strippers twerking, you know, shaking their big Debbie case. You don't know these girls from a can of paint. So you don't know what they're doing when you're not looking. And then you gonna talk all this stuff about Chrisean and when it comes to the baby and stuff like that, which I do agree with that she needs to sit down. Don't get me wrong. But you saying that, oh, I don't want my baby to be touched and everything like that. The way you go about it, I wouldn't be surprised. You feel me? Like, you can't say that and then you have your own kids in a situation that something like that may occur. That's hypocritical. I don't see any judge giving him full custody ever because you've gotten CPS called at your home like what, twice or 3 times already this year. So they have that all on record. You think they're going to allow you to take a newborn baby in? If anything, they'll probably give the custody to the godparents or somebody else in her family. So that's not going to work. I don't know why he thinks that's going to ever happen in God's blue earth. That's not going to happen. So yeah, they called the CPS on them because they came across the video of Blue asking his son if he was gay, and while the strippers were in another room shaking their Big Debbie cakes. Yeah, I remember I talked about this and I said how sick it was because you put in his mind where he's thinking about sexuality in any way. So now he's starting to maybe question himself. And when you say that, he might Google stuff like that. He might start looking at stuff like that. Apparently, Blueface claims that his son had corn in his phone, which is very questionable. These are the girls with the Big Debbie cake shaking it.
Casual day with Jay Nasty. Son.
But you want full custody though. Okay. That's what kills me about both of them. I'm telling you, both of them would have never got full custody. I don't think Chrisean would get full custody. I don't think he would get full custody. None of y'all would. So it's funny to me when he says stuff like that. I do think though, I'm glad that this happened because people don't think enough about the kids in this situation. It's not about them. Like, I'm not on either side. I'm on the kids' side because it's like they didn't ask for none of this. They didn't ask to be born into like a torturous household on both ends. Because you got one that's clout hungry and another that's clout hungry with an identity crisis because he doesn't know what he's going to do with his career. And then the mom is clout hungry and doesn't know how to control her anger. So it's like the baby is not, you know, in the best situation on either sides. But hopefully with Chrisean's backing of her family and her godparents, I hope that, you know, it ends up well with her. I do think that the Blueface does need to be around the baby, especially once the baby starts getting a little bit older. I don't think that the baby should be without a dad like forever, like at all. I think Blueface needs to be like in his life, like 100%. I would never say no. I just don't think that it should be, the baby should be with him full time at all. I don't think that. Like that's a no-go. Okay. Ashton Kutcher, you guys, and Mila Kunis issued an apology after received a whole lot of hate. This is a little bit late, but after receiving a whole lot of hate in regards to the whole situation with them writing the letter. Mind you, this apology to me was such BS because it was so scripted. It was so scripted to me. You could tell Mila's reading off of a line that they wrote under the phone. I hate apologies like this because it's not sincere. Y'all don't really mean it. This is just for press. So y'all way I don't get a bad, you know, look out on life when it comes to fans.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to.
I think it's pure BS. And I think that their career probably is going to go a lot downhill because of this. I don't get how you could write a letter regardless of the situation. Once you hear what he's being accused of and you look at the substantial evidence that's backing it up, I wouldn't have wrote nothing like this in support of him. Because you're basically, and I hate how they're saying us writing it, the letter is negating the victim's experience. Yes, it is, because you're saying he couldn't have done this because he's such a good person. That's what you're saying. So you are negating it. I don't get how. No. That's wrong. Okay. Steve Harvey, y'all, is really, really mad because he feel like I keep talking about his wife cheating on him and stealing from him, and he's sick of you guys talking about his wife Marjorie. Okay, so he said leave Marjorie out of it.
Tired. The woman I married is a good woman. She the best thing ever happened to me. She's God-fearing, she's loyal, she's faithful, and she's a kind and loving person. I don't care what nobody says. And y'all quit talking about she was in my other marriage and ruined it. She didn't. She was nowhere around that. My marriage, I got divorced in 2005. My marriage was over when the Kings of Comedy was out. Y'all ain't know that though, did you? It was over then. It wasn't worth a quarter then. It took us this long to get to the divorce. That's when the official paperwork came out. But in 2005, let me hip you to something. I had nothing. I lost the radio show we were on in LA on March 23rd, and I lost the only TV show I had May 10th. I mean, May 23rd, I lost the radio show, and May 10th, I lost the TV show. Steve Harvey had no money. Got with Marjorie again, New Year's Eve, met her, talked to her. She was with her kids in Hawaii. We got together in 2006. We had nothing. She didn't marry into no lap of riches. I had nothing. When I asked her to marry me at the end of 2006, and then she said she wanted to get married in 2007, I told her too soon. I got to get some stuff together. She said, what? I said, baby, I ain't really got nothing. I'm trying to build. She said, I'm going to get in there and build with you. We got married in 2007. Do you know what I was doing in 2007? Nothing. We had four stations in 2005. 4. We built this. All of us built this. We had 4 stations. We turned this into something. But that woman got down in that foxhole with me and turned this into something. In 2007, we got married. In 2008, we found out that somebody had stolen 7 years of my tax returns. I ain't gonna mention no name. And we owed the government $22 million and we in debt. But then guess what? She stayed with me in that. Then guess what? In 2009, I got Family Feud. In 2009, the book came out. In 2012, the talk show came out. I'm telling you, this woman got in the hole and built this with me. She didn't steal nothing. And I'm tired of y'all talking about my girl, because my girl is one of the best women I've ever met. And why you black ass people out there got these blogs like you just gonna destroy somebody, I don't really know what that's about.
The person she talking about, Tasha K. What else? Come on, bitch. You ain't getting a damn on it. Tasha has been going on like a tangent about how Steve Harvey is like scared of Marjorie, and has done interviews with some people that have said some things about Steve Harvey. So he's basically addressing really those allegations, and it had to do a lot with Tasha K. So Tasha K thought y'all still has to learn from the whole situation of Cardi B and has doubled down on it. Why she's doing this to me makes no sense, because I don't think there's that much issues in their relationship as Tasha's putting out there, because if there were, they would have been gotten a divorce. All the stuff that he's claiming that they went through, that's enough to make a relationship break as it's going on. So stuff like this probably wouldn't have went down, and caused them to break up now, what Tasha's claiming, okay? So shout out to Steve Harvey standing by her woman, okay? Let me know what you guys think about some of these topics down below, and we're out, babies.
No personal thing. falling.